I read this somewhere. Tell me it's
Excellent.
true. It is true.
Yeah. Can we not upset the mate? Leaf!
Leaf! 67 Leaf. Oh.
We're spending a day driving round in circles as we investigate if D mode, B mode, or D eco and B eco make any difference to Leafy Leaf's range.
This is Max Regen. Why are you watching those two idiots?
Right, Dave. Last go round.
Last go round.
Okay.
It seems as though we've been doing this all day.
We do. We have to be in B eco for this one.
That is correct.
Right, 94%, and it stopped, so that's all we get.
94%, 76 miles that we can travel.
Yeah.
And we are travelling backwards.
In a backwards type direction. Okay, so it's now raining, sadly, or fizzing, really.
It's sort of, yes, mizzling. Yeah. It's 3 minutes past 5, so it's getting darker. So this one, it does have a bit more of a real worldy sort of.
Yeah, although it won't be dark until about 6:37, will it?
Yeah, something like that.
Sadly, I've got to run the fan because you can see, whether you can see, guys, it's steaming up. This is the problem. Another problem about driving a non-petrol engine car is that when you drive a normal car with a motor up ahead, there's quite a bit of heat there. In fact, we know that, you know, that thing up the front there in a normal car spends most of its time turning the petrol into heat rather than into forward motion. Something like 60%, is it? I'm sure somebody will prove me wrong about that one, but I know a high percentage of the amount of the fuel is being turned into heat. So that's really twisted, isn't it? And so this doesn't have that. There's no heat up ahead, so the screen doesn't get naturally warmed up from the engine. So you have to run the blower very slightly on the windscreen. Actually, I'm not. I think what we're going to have to do is let's just commit to the heat because we're going to have to run it. You know, I don't think we have a choice. We're going to have to allow for, I think, 3 to 4 miles because we're going to have to run the heat to keep the screen clean.
Okay.
So let's say 3 to 4. We've got no choice really.
And the rain gets harder.
Yes. And the rain will also impact on it. So, anyway.
Actually, something we found out in a moment of me wading through a rather large PDF file on my phone.
Yes.
Was that not only does the weather affect it and the temperature, but also how high you are.
Oh yes. One of the screens on the Leaf Spy
Pro
is elevation. And they're saying it makes quite a bit of difference. I mean, how does elevation impact on the battery's efficiency then, do you think? Obviously it's important because this app has a whole graph dedicated to it.
Perhaps you know, and in that case you need to tell us because we're stupid.
Yeah, we discovered it. Elevation. We're currently at 407 feet above... the car's on fire.
No, I think that's somebody vaping.
Yeah, vaping, yeah. If we did this, say, in Scotland at a higher altitude, how would that affect the range?
Yes.
Somebody write to us and tell us, because we have no idea. You feel this over-braking now? You feel the braking's harder? Yeah.
Please excuse us while we get shot through the windscreen.
Yeah, the pedal is really sensitive. It does this occasionally. So anybody else out there with a Leaf, does yours do this? Just occasionally. Maybe it's because we changed it from D to B mode at the last stop. Does yours do this? Suddenly the braking gets quite, excitable. When I first got the car, there was a software or firmware update which made it less. It was really sharp, like you'd suddenly go to a dead stop. But now it seems to be slightly not quite as bad, but yeah. What about the promo for Rockstar's cars? Can we talk about that? It's a car-related thing?
That is a car-related thing.
Is that still online?
I believe that is still online.
On the Rockstar's cars?
On the Rockstars, yeah. We could put a link here. Yep. And, because when we were filming the Rockstar's cars thing, you interviewed Ginger Baker. And Ginger Baker sadly passed away.
Yes,
well, as we filmed this on the Monday, the 7th, Ginger Baker, it was announced, passed away yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to his house in Canterbury and did an interview with him about his cars. He's famous for owning Jensen Interceptor, but the FF, Ferguson Formula, four-wheel drive. So this is a 67, 68, 69 car that had four-wheel drive back in the day. I mean, quite a crude four-wheel drive.
Awesome.
But we talked to him about that. He went all over Africa in this car. I mean,
was that the guy who crashed it?
yeah.
Wrapped it round a tree?
Yeah, and shot a
and then shot a
cine
video to prove it.
with people helping him drag it back up. He would have gone. He went off the road and would have gone miles down a hillside and been trashed the car completely if it hadn't been for the fact that it caught a tree just off the edge. So the car would over the edge, bang, hit a tree, damaged the wishbone or something, part of the suspension, the front wheel setup, and they dragged it back up, took it to a local shop. I mean, it was literally in Algeria, I think, and they just hammered it till it was roughly the right shape, and he just carried on. I mean, he literally did this journey with almost no prep at all. You know, literally didn't know where he was going to get fuel or food or sleep or just. I love it. I mean, the man's just
Sounds like one of our trips.
Yeah.
And of course, we proved that I'm a petrol head because we went to Goodwood and I drove around in classic Mustangs.
Yes.
That was a good fun day out.
Yeah. Footage here.
Footage, yes, and it's still online.
Is it?
Yes.
What?
Because you gave me a copy of it, so I put it on my website.
Right.
So there's a shameless plug for my website.
Link to that too.
www.djrcreative.com.
Yes.
And if you go on there, you can find out all about me and a little bit about him and see all the other weird stuff we get up to.
Yeah.
Like my radio show on a Thursday night.
You're tuned in to the Dave Rhodes radio experience. I'm guessing there's nothing else on.
On RTI.
FM. RTI.FM.
Yes.
Although you don't have to listen to it on the website. There are loads of different apps and things. You can listen to it on your Xbox and on your Alexa and all sorts of things.
Okay. So, how many shows are you up to now? It must be into the 100 and somethings.
I think this week is 126.
Wow.
We want to take a left here,
Left
don't we?
here, yes.
Left here.
We've been the wrong way at this junction as well.
And here's a group of people in high vis.
They are traffic light specialists.
We hope they are. It's a bit late now to think about. That's a big lorry.
That was a good sound, Dave. How did it go again? Oh God!
No, don't go. That's
That's-
just gone tragically
That's
wrong.
awfully wrong. That is.
Yes.
We should not be doing that sound.
No. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Let's.
Now we've got the fun.
Yes.
Because nobody knows. Oh, it went green.
What?
Rock and roll.
They
It's the
fixed
first
it!
time today that we've seen a green light here. We've bust this thing at red every time so far. Well,
Perhaps you don't want to be admitting that.
well, it didn't move. And when we look back, this one was that not lit?
That one's lit as well now.
Is it?
There's been a man with a screwdriver come and fix
Somebody
it.
come and fertled with it and got it functioning. Fertile functioning.
Indeed. But we're now in Edenbridge.
Right, there is a perfectly good bypass, but we decided not to bypass it for comedy value. I can't remember.
Because we quite like looking at the road sign that hangs, or the pub sign
Oh,
that
the pub.
hangs over the road, as mentioned earlier.
See, we sound like experts now. That's because we've done this.
We've done this four times.
today.
This is fourth time today.
Yes.
We know this. Edenbridge is a town and civil parish in the Sevenoaks district of Kent. Its name derives from Old English, and Edenbridge was originally spelt EADHELMSBRIGGE. So it's like Eadhelmsbrig.
God's teeth.
Anyway, it's located on the Kent and Surrey border on the upper floodplain of the River Medway and gives its name to the latter's tributary, the River Eden.
Oh, okay. A bridge over the River Eden.
Indeed.
Here we are at the Roadworks of Desire.
Yes. Chiddingstone Village. So Chiddingstone is one of the most beautiful and oldest villages in Kent. You can visit a surviving Tudor village full of charm and history and discover the legend of the Chidding Stone. Yes, rumour has it that the stone was once used by ancient druids as an altar or place where judgments were made. And judgment seems to be a running theme, as it's believed Britons used the stone as a place to conduct judicial affairs. It's also possible, though, the stone was used as a boundary marker by the Saxons. In the medieval times, folklore has it that nagging wives, wrongdoers and witches were brought to the stone to be chided as punishment by an assembly of villagers. This is where the most recent name for the stone comes from, and with it possibly the name of the village.
So, now that sounds very like chiding or to chide, which is a real word, isn't it?
But apparently they have done a bit of research into it, and they can tell you that the stone is made from natural stone, and so it would have been formed millions of years ago when the land was underwater.
Like now?
As it will be very soon.
Yes. Underwater?
Yes.
Yes.
But
that's Norwich, isn't it? It's going to be the underwater city of Norwich.
Ah.
Not Atlantis.
Well, let's not go there then.
But that's okay, because everybody's got web feet.
Oh, God.
Sorry, those living in Norfolk.
Yes.
I'm sure you haven't all got web feet. Only some of you. No, that's not true either. None of you have got web feet.
And there's a man driving down the pavement.
Keep death off the roads, drive on the pavement.
So, the Chidding Stone still holds a sense of mystery and has become an attraction that still draws interest to the village of Chiddingstone. Apparently it's looked after by the National Trust.
There's a link. They're putting charges in.
Are there?
Yes.
Oh.
I've read this somewhere. Tell me
Excellent.
it's true. It is true. Yeah.
Can we not upset the mate? Leave!
Leaf! 67 leaf. Oh.
Sorry about that.
That's
Just a sudden moment of excitement there.
He's going for it, look.
Hey.
Mind you, it's probably a 30 or a 40. He's got more miles on available to him.
That's true.
If I said, after all the mucking around, the 15 odd episodes we've done in electric cars, if I said to you, right Dave, sorry, you've got to make a choice, you've got to choose an electric car, would you A, not choose an electric car at all, or B, would you choose one, and what one would it be?
I would go for an electric car, and I'd be a tart, and I'd have to have a Model X.
Right.
But
Okay,
so that's that. But I think we have to be more realistic, because unless I suddenly acquire a winning lottery ticket, that's not going to happen.
No.
So let's look at it more realistic. At the moment, I probably wouldn't buy an electric car because of the range the
That you could
vehicle
afford.
would get from what I could afford.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what the mileage is like on the new MG that comes out sometime fairly soon, I think.
I think it's 160, 180, something like that.
And that's getting to that point where I'm thinking I can go out for a day, I can go down to Eastbourne, then over to Brighton, then back to Eastbourne, then home.
Yeah.
And I can do that in a day, and I don't have to worry about having to stop en route and charge. I quite like the driving position of being quite high up. I have a bad back, so I like to sit high up so I don't have to crunch myself into a car.
Yeah.
So something with a high up driving position, and we saw the MG at a car show earlier in the year, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I was very taken with it, as you know.
So, here we are, back at Clackett Lane.
Lane Services.
Hopefully we're not going to get a massive fine for coming back 4 times.
But if anybody needs proof that we've done it, we can send them the video.
Send us the video, yeah.
Yeah, please watch our YouTube channel just to see that we did go in and out.
We didn't stay here, yeah.
No. Now the question I have is, when we pull up here, is there going to be anybody here? Because this is our 5th time of being here today.
Yeah.
And other than the Ecotricity lady in her van,
Yes.
no, we can drive straight up. Actually, there was a car here this morning charging, wasn't there? There was a... Is it a Renault?
Zoe, yeah.
It was a Zoe, wasn't it?
Okay.
So,
Right.
here we are.
So, statistics. 33 miles. And we'll add 4 to that, yeah?
Yeah.
Generous. Say
Be
4
generous.
miles to having the heat on. So that should say 37. But I think it's really close. So
Yeah.
just a guess now, sitting in the car, I think it's really close. I don't think that has been within a mile or two difference
No,
with
neither do I.
whatever mode you're in.
I think
So-
it's a bit pointless.
So I shall be driving home in B mode with the eco off.
So, having spent the day driving around in circles, the results are in. Each time we recharged, we waited for the Ecotricity charger to cut out once it decided we were full. And we took the reading on the guesser meter, or GOM, at the start and end of each circuit to ensure that we had consistent figures to make the comparison. We also made a 4-mile adjustment to the final circuit we did to compensate for the weather and it getting dark. So, what did we deduce from our test? Well, in 4th place with 33 miles remaining was B mode. In joint second was D and D Eco mode with 36 miles, and in first place and most efficient was B and Eco mode with 37 miles remaining, which to be entirely honest is not really a surprise. But what has surprised us is how close all the results are, and unless you feel the urge to change the selector on every different road you go on, well, you may as well just stick it in whatever you want and leave it. If you have a comment or a suggestion, why not write it below? And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell thing to be notified when we upload new content. We'll be back soon with more Max Regen. Until then, check us out online at www.maxregen.co.uk.
Thank you for watching. More madness
to come.
on Max Regen.
Till next time, take care. Bye-bye.
Max Regen. We have achieved Max Regen. Don't panic.